Chapter 9. Another week passes, and I work hard, hide well, play with Tina, play with Leda, gobble up the books Kyle brings me, fill my mind with biology and zoology and nature. I forget about Brian, forget about the piranhas, forget about I know you, and when life is nothing but summer and zoo, I'm happy. What do you want to be when you grow up? Kyle asks one day as we leave the elephant habitat and head for the restaurant area to sweep the pavement. What do you want to do with your life? My stomach clenches, and my steps falter as the future opens in front of me, a huge black void gaping open. I don't know. You must have some kind of idea. I shrug. I'm not sure I will ever be a grown-up. I don't know. What about you? I'm not sure yet. Maybe something to do with animals, I bet. Maybe a vet. Maybe a journalist or an activist. I want to tell people about animals and how careful we need to be or we'll wipe them off the face of the planet. We're like locusts, you see. In old stories, they talk about plagues of locusts leaving nothing but desert in their wake. That's just like us. We leave everything in ruin. The planet is a mess, and it's our fault. I make a face. Yes, the planet is a mess, but is it our fault? We're just another species trying to survive. If evolution had been different, if jaguars or llamas could build skyscrapers or send missions to Mars, they would, and they wouldn't worry too much about some freaky hairless ape living in a cave trying to figure out what opposable thumbs are good for. But we're ruining this world for ourselves too. And don't you think we owe the animals something? It's their planet too, and we're destroying their habitats, making it impossible for them to live. They destroy each other too. They attack each other, eat each other. They're responsible for other species' extinction. Man isn't the first species to make life difficult for another. We're not the only predators on planet Earth. Cal stares at me like I've sprouted a rhinoceros tusk. They're just doing it to survive. We know better. We have a conscience, an imagination, intelligence. We know right from wrong. We know what pollution means. We know there are alternative fuel sources. We know we can do things differently. We're no different from the animals. I thought you liked the animals. I charge on, unstoppable now, even though I'm not even sure I agree with myself. We're greedy, just like them. Everybody looks out for number one. Every species, every individual. That's the way things are. You can put all the pretty words on paper that you want, but that won't change anything. Nothing you do will ever change anything. This is the way the world works. It's the way life works. That's not true, Kyle says. Some people do make a difference. In some ways, the world does get better. It can get better. I shake my head. It may look that way, but you don't know if anyone really made a difference at all. You've heard that time might be the fourth dimension. Well, it wouldn't make sense that we could control dimension, would it? Can't control the other three, so why would we be able to control time? If history is a river, we're nothing more than droplets splashing into the air. We're inconsequential. Sooner or later, we'll go extinct, and Earth will keep turning, the solar systems will keep hurtling through space, and we won't matter, not as individuals, not as a race, and nobody will know or care that we ever existed. But we're standing at the restaurant area, arguing so loudly that visitors are staring at us. I grab a broom from the supply cupboard and thrust it at Kyle, then grab another one for myself. Nobody matters, I say, almost growling at him. Nothing matters. I dabble on my chores, carefully sweeping up every leaf, every speck of dust, every candy wrapper, every crumb, and bit by bit my mind settles. The mud and the dirt sticking to the bottom, leaving the surface clear. I'm whistling as I sweep the tiles in front of the souvenir shop when out of nowhere, someone's standing there in scuffed leather shoes and torn jeans, my broom smoothing dust over his toes. I ran into your boyfriend, Brian says. He told me he'd be somewhere here. I look around. Don't see Kyle anywhere, but that doesn't mean he's not somewhere watching, spying. What are you doing back here, I say with a sneer. Miss me so much? I've been on the lookout for that guy, he says. The one at the cafe? I rub my forehead with my knuckle, feel my stomach clench. Why? No luck, he continues. He has vanished. I hold on tight to the broom. Why are you looking for him? Ra's got a good look at him, and she's been keeping an eye out. He hasn't been back. Brian spits on the ground. Probably won't be back. She says it looked like you scared him as bad as he scared you. She said he ran out like the devil was after him. Brian sounds impressed, and I feel small and insignificant because I didn't do anything. I wish I had. I wish I had been terrifying. I wish I had shot fire with my eyes. I wish I had said something to shrivel him up into a tiny, miserable piece of dirt to stomp on. But I didn't do anything. Anything at all. No one's been around asking about you either, he said. Roz talked to all the staff, and they promised to let her know if anybody asked about you. No one has. He's too chicken to come back. He's not coming after you. You're safe. I shrug. Right? So you can come back home. I resume sweeping. I don't want to. Ever? I shrug, turn away, hit a piece of spit-out candy with my broom like it's a golf ball. Not today. Brian steps in my way. The broom sweeps over his shoes again. I look up at him and find renewed anger in his features. It's aimed at me this time. What? I ask. I'm not coming home. Why do you care? What's wrong? You miss beating me up? Brian pulls something out of his pocket and holds it up close to my face. right against my nose. Why did you keep this? Brian asks, his voice loud and accusing. Why? I tilt my head back until I can focus on the object dangling in front of my eyes. It's a long, thin strip, once glossy, cut from a photograph. The strip is narrow, so it's not possible to see any details of the picture it's cut from. It's just random colors now. Striped like a cat's tail, dulled by the years and the handling. It was in my room, under my bed, in a box filled with pens and notebooks and stickers and paperbacks. At the very bottom of the box, marking the place in my diary. Brian has gone through my room, through my stuff. He has read my diary. A while ago, that would have filled me with red-hot rage. Now, I don't care. I shrug. You're crazy. Brian has taken a step closer. His fist tightens around the strip of paper. He's pushing against the wall of air between us, and I move back. Why would you keep something like that? I thought you wanted to forget like I do. My shoulders feel heavy, but I shrug again. Brian spits on the ground once more, wipes his mouth at the back of his hand, contempt dripping through his face. You want to remember. It's not a choice, I say. I don't want to. I don't like to. I have to. Why did you keep this? I need it, I say. Quick as a salamander's tongue, my hand snakes into the poisoned barrier between us, grabs the strip of paper and pulls. It rips out of Brian's hand. He's left holding a stub. My fingers reel up the long streamer, hide it in my palm. It feels damp and dirty and old. Why? Why do you need it? So I know what really happened, that I didn't make it up in my head. You're crazy, Brian repeats, crazy. I need this so I know I'm not crazy, I yell at him. He slashes a gash in the wall of air, grabs my hand, and digs his nails into my skin as he pries one finger at a time open until the wadded up strip of paper falls to the ground. He pushes me away hard enough that I stumble and almost fall. He picks up the piece of paper. I'm getting rid of this. No, you're not. Brian backs off, turns around, runs. I run after him. I jump at him, grab at his arm. He shakes me off and shoves me away, and I fall to the ground, whimpering in pain as my elbow hits concrete. I run at him again, hang myself onto him, clawing, yelling, stretching to reach what's in his hand. But he's taller than me. He holds his arm up and I can't reach. All I can do is claw at his arm, his face. A group of people has formed around us. I can see Kyle approaching, Dylan in tow, towering over him. Brian sees them too. He shoves me off one last time. I land against the fence. He raises his hand again, and the small ball of paper flies through the air, over the fence, into the tiger den. One of the cubs trots at it and gobbles it up. There, Brian says as the tiger cub starts chewing, and he backs away as Dylan speeds up. It's gone. It's over. Forget now. You have to forget.